I deal with women. That's who I work with. And what I know about women is ultimately in the end, we're going to choose the guy, but we need to be pursued. Period.
Welcome, guys. This is another episode of I Hate Dating Apps, and I'm Daniel.
And I'm Jinah.
All right, so we're going to try something really fun today.
Oh, super fun.
Yeah.
I'm so looking forward to this.
Like everybody who's been watching any one of our podcasts knows how Jinah is very frustrated. I mean, she's the founder of IHateDatingApps.com. So
the I means me.
Right.
I hate dating
Exactly.
apps. Yeah.
Exactly. So we thought it'd be fun to try and get you some professional help, Jinah. You need some professional help.
This is the point where I get professional help because I've tried just about everything else. No, I mean, yeah, the genesis of this episode is that I was like, we've been talking ad nauseum about the problems that we have on dating apps. But, I guess it's time to shift the focus a little bit towards solutions, right? Because we could keep spinning our wheels as much as we want, but maybe the light at the end of that tunnel will be brighter and we'll get there faster if we go a little deeper into what it might be that's preventing us from finding love and success on the dating apps. And I myself have been on the apps for about a year and a half, so not as much as other people, but I am just, I guess, not anywhere super closer to where I was a year and a half ago, other than a little more jaded, a little more wise, a little more what should I be looking for? But of course, all of that, once you lose the innocence and wide-eyed hopefulness, that also leads to its own set of problems. Daniel thought, let's have an episode where you get coached. And I love that idea. And so we have joining us today men and women, because we want to hear both perspectives.
Because you need all the help you can get.
I need all the help I can get. And, I was like, okay, it's traditional for women to coach women. But maybe that's not the
let's
best
get
way
some
to
male
go about it.
perspective.
Yeah, let's get the men
Yeah.
into the room to see what they would say to me. So thank all three of you for showing up and agreeing to coach little old Jinah over here. And if you could please introduce yourselves.
Okay, fantastic. Hi, guys. Oh my God, this is going to be fun. Hi, so my name is Charlene Byars, and I am a relationship and dating coach, and I actually specialize in single successful women looking to find and attract their partner, their soul aligned partner. And I'm also a feminine embodiment practitioner and a certified women's empowerment coach and women's empowerment. And I help women really understand polarity and feminine and masculine energy and really attract what exactly they are looking for. So that's kind of the work I do. I've been doing this work for over 20 years. I'm very passionate about this, and I'm very passionate about people having amazing relationships with themselves and the people they love.
So meeting the other side, the guys that you are trying to find for your clients, Charlene, are being coached by these two guys we're about to introduce.
Let's hear it. Yeah.
Perfect. We do the exact same thing Charlene does, but for men. So Charlene did the heavy lifting for us. We ran a site named coaches.net, and essentially what we do is the same exact thing. The only difference is that we specialize in a broader area where if you're brand new dating or you're looking for your one and only, we could help you through those stages, no matter what stage you're in. And a lot of the times is internal, but a lot of times it's also learning how to communicate better. So that's what we specialize in. We've been doing this for a decade now. So me and Brandon decided, let's launch it together. Let's go ahead and quit our jobs and do what we really love, which is transforming men's lives.
Yeah, so we have Jesse and Brandon who come as a team.
Teamwork.
Yep. Brandon and Jesse of datingcoaches.net, Charlene Byars of charlenebyars.com. Thank you so much. And I'm an open book, so y'all just dive in.
So my question I'm going to have for you is, because obviously your podcast is I Hate Dating Apps. So I'm going to start there. If you can tell me your main reason and what has been your biggest struggle and why you actually hate dating apps.
Okay, so I have to say that
I want to hear this.
The title itself is kind of like tongue in cheek. You know, there are a lot of podcasts out there on dating and relationships, and so I was just like, everybody hates dating apps. Why don't I
Yeah.
just have a podcast called I Hate Dating Apps? I mean, I say I hate dating apps, but really, I've had a lot of fun on them. And I see it as a little bit like traffic. If I'm going down the 405 freeway in LA and I'm getting a good day, hey, I'm loving it. If I get stuck for an hour and a half on a 10-mile stretch, I hate traffic. But does that mean that I'm going to get off of it? No, it's just the reality. And so the title itself is a little tongue-in-cheek and just to kind of differentiate us. But it really was something that I said about probably 10 months ago when I had like a series of 4 really bad dates. And
Okay.
up until that point, like the 8 months before then, I was, or 6 months or whatever, I was actually having a decent time on the dating apps. And I was just
On the
like,
dating.
yeah, kid in a candy store. Like I just signed up in like August of 2022. And I was just like, wow, this is fun. Oh my God. Like, oh, look at all these guys. And oh my God, I'm going out on dates every single week. So I had fun. And then I hit a period in February of 2023 where I was just like, bad date, bad date, bad date, bad date. And then like Daniel and I started talking and I was just like, I hate dating apps. And then
Right.
the podcast was born.
Okay, no, and I knew it was like the name was kind of fun like that, but I want to like kind of break this down in the sense of when you are on dating apps, give me an example, your experience, like overall what actually happens. So I know you're probably on different ones. I want to know your personal experience and why this has been frustrating and why you're, still looking to find someone that's really in alignment with you. So give me an example of your experience on the dating app. How long does it take? How long are you guys talking to each other? Are we meeting? When we meet, what are we doing? Who's asking to meet? I kind of want to know a little bit of that information.
Sure. So I would say that I've had an arc. Okay. I've had one experience and then now I'm having a different experience. And in the beginning, I would say that was colored by the fact that I was completely new. I hadn't been on the scene or, available for about 15 years. And so when I first signed up in summer of 2022, I was like, oh my God, look, wow, within the first hour, I have 1,500 likes. Like, I couldn't believe this was happening. And then all these guys were in LA, which is where I am. And so I didn't know what I was doing. So being this naive kind of like wide-eyed person, I was like swiping right, swiping right. He's cute. Well, he's got 2 legs. Well, he looks like he's got a job, and so I was just swiping. And saying yes to the universe. Okay, that was my mindset in the beginning. It's just like, Jinah, don't derail trains all the time like you always do. Just say yes to the universe. And so I was literally saying yes to so many people. I think I ended up going on just 2 dates every single week. And I was having a lot of fun. By doing that, I was meeting people that I would never have said yes to with all of my preconceived notions, right?
So what changed?
What changed was my bad dates. So I like I said, like earlier this year, I went on a succession of bad dates where I was like excited to get to know this person. They were super attractive. We had a little bit of a banter. And then I went out with them. And one guy, who's the topic of my very first episode, ghosted me in the middle of the date. Not even in the middle. Within the first 10 minutes of the date, he ghosted me. He literally left the restaurant. And I was like, what just happened right now? And my girlfriends were like, are you kidding me right now? Like, ghosting is a total thing. Like, you just haven't been on the apps long enough to realize how often this happens. People leave in the middle of dates. You'll be having amazing conversations with people on the apps, and then they'll just drop off for no reason. Like, it's a thing. You just got to get used to it. So I was like, okay. And then I went out with another guy that I really liked. And then the same thing happened. Like 2 weeks later, after an amazing first date, he blocked me. And I was like, what the heck just happened there? Like, we had nothing but an amazing date, I thought, and I feel like I'm pretty good at reading the room, feel like I'm pretty good at reading between the lines. And I wasn't getting any indication that there was anything wrong. Then I started getting kind of jaded. And at that point, I pivoted a little bit towards, all right, Jinah, got to be a little more smart about this. Let's stop being let's just swipe on everybody, and let's be more intentional. Let's be more focused on what it is that you want. And I have to say, I've had some successes since then, But
Okay.
I feel like also I have been my own stumbling block because I'm now not saying yes to the universe. I'm very much at a place right now where I'm just kind of like, let me be super clear on what I want. And then I hone in on that person. So I just go one at a time. I'm not like dating multiple people at once. And then when that disappoints me, I go, oh crap. So that doesn't even work, you know?
Okay.
So a little bit of
So
disappointment.
a little bit of that, yeah. So I want to say something first. Let's talk about what dating apps are for, and why people don't are having a struggle with dating apps. So dating app is literally just a tool,
Right.
and the dating app is a tool to have a variety of different people in one place to get to see who we're going to match with. Dating app, let me make this very clear. Everyone hear me loud and clear. Dating app is not a place that you get to know somebody, period. So I'm a big component on not allowing the dating app to be the tool that we think that we're going to get to know another human being. You're never going to get to know anybody or understand anything until you physically are in front of that person.
Yeah.
So we really have to understand how to use dating apps. So I'm going to ask you a couple other questions. So when you said to me at first, you went from like, it was fun, it was exciting, you were getting a lot going on, and then you shifted and you made it more intentional. So when you're making it more intentional, give me an example on when you're swiping or you're like, and this is another thing, I'm just going to say this right now. As a relationship coach, dating coach, I help single successful women find and meet their aligned partner, their person, their husband. So it's a very specific work that I do. And when I'm talking about the dating apps specifically, one of the dating apps that I tell women to get off now is anything that we are choosing the guy.
Oh.
We are picking, yes. So if you're doing Bumble and you're doing those type of things, I'm like, no. And I'm going to tell you why.
Okay. Why?
Okay. Because you want to make sure that if you're a woman really looking, especially, if we're talking I deal with women that are heterosexual, that are looking for heterosexual men.
Yep.
Very specific. If you're a woman looking for a heterosexual man, it is extremely important that we are knowing that the man is also coming to us. He's interested in us, not us chasing him. And I'm not talking chasing, pursuing. So I always tell women, so when we match on a dating app, it's really important that we get to see that person. I always say within the first week, quickly. I'm all about quick, let's get it done. I have a whole process of that. So when you were on the dating app and you were being more intentional, tell me really, I know you're going to be honest with me, but give me an example how that works. Are we texting? How long are we texting? How long are we interacting with each other till we're actually seeing each other in person?
I'm a person of action. So I like to see people within the first week or two of matching with them. And if they come up with excuse after excuse as to why they can't see me, I say this isn't going to work out.
Is the guy moving those dating dynamics forward? Or are you moving the dating dynamics forward?
So it toggles. Sometimes I will be like, so what are you doing next Wednesday? And sometimes the guy will say, so what are you doing next Wednesday? Now, I have to couch that with the fact that I have a son that I share 50-50 custody with my ex. And so oftentimes I don't want to wait for the guy to ask me, because I don't want him to go, are you available Monday? What about Tuesday? What about Friday? Because he needs to understand that I have a 50-50 custody schedule. And so I just say, look, I'm available next week, Wednesday and Thursday, because I'm generally available on Wednesdays and Thursdays.
So you're controlling so you're the one that's controlling the pushing the dating dynamics forward. It's you.
Not always,
Okay.
but sometimes. Yeah. Just to let them know, I might say no to your Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because I have my son, And I don't want them to be like, God, this girl isn't ever available. So as to not give them any impression that I am not available and therefore they would lose interest, I would just say, by the way, I have my son 50% and next week I happen to be available Wednesday and Thursday.
Okay. And so give me an example when you're meeting these guys in person, what's happening here? Because for an example, let's say if you're telling the guy, if you're asking the guy out, this is what it sounds like to me. Like what happens here?
So I never suggest where to go. Unless they are like, hey, I'm going to drive to your town and I'm going to take you out. Can you make a suggestion? then I'll suggest a place. But typically I don't set the agenda for the date because I don't want to take their man card. Okay. So I'll just be like, hey, I'm available. Maybe I'll say I'm available next Wednesday and Thursday. And then they'll go, great. Should I come up to you? And I'll be like, that would be lovely. That would be awesome if you did. And then he'll say something like, okay, can you recommend a place? Or do you have a place that you super love or whatever? Then I might recommend a place. And I know I have no problem, Charlene, and you could probably already pick this up. I have no problems setting the agenda. I have no problems being a leader in any situation. But
well, I think this is where we're gonna have this conversation right now. This is why we're having this conversation, because today we're talking about, there's different levels here. Today we're specifically talking about the matters of love. We're talking about romantic relationships. And for romantic relationship, it's completely different if we're just being platonic and we're just talking about friendship and we're just talking about all that kind of stuff. There is a process when we're in the romance world. And especially I deal with women. That's who I work with. And what I know about women is ultimately in the end, we're going to choose the guy, but we need to be pursued, period. We need to be pursued, meaning that we need to know that the man is truly interested in us, that he wants us. Because I know that when I work with women, you don't want to deal with a man that you're not sure if he's into you, if he is wishy-washy. And this is one of the ways that I always tell women. I said, you have to know that the guy is interested in you, that he is pursuing you, not the other way around. So that's one of the shifts that I would love for you and I to have another conversation about, in the sense of like, what actually does that mean?
So not even suggesting the time is what you're saying. Like your critique to me in that scenario would be, I need you, Jinah, to not even suggest the date, not even suggest the location. You want him to do all the work. Is that correct?
I want the guy to actually want to go and meet you, period. And when a man is interested in a woman, and the guys can speak on this right now, if he's on a dating app and he's interested in you, there's something there that sparks something in him, he's going to want to see you. If he is truly wanting to meet you, and he's a guy that's not freaking wishy-washy or playing games, the guy has to know, because men don't want to like just kind of, the type of men I'm experiencing that you probably want. You do want a man that is confident in who himself and wants you. You don't want a man that's wishy-washy. I would think so.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm correct. Okay, yeah. And so that's what's very attractive to us women.
Yes.
It really comes down to like how we want to feel. So I do this process, Jinah, on like, how do you actually want to feel with a man? Because a lot of us women, this is the deal. Think about this. We process different. A lot of us women, and we're not understanding this, we are so much in our masculine energy because we're doers. We're working,
yes.
We're running household. We're like boss babes, okay? But that doesn't really resonate when it comes to the matter of the heart. I'm telling you right now, because really what we want to feel, I asked women, I said, how do you want to feel? Yeah. With a man, like get out of your head and really break down. Let me tell you what I hear most. Okay, I'm just going to give you this example. So often when I ask women this, I say, okay, I do this whole exercise with them. I bring them out of their head and into their body, because that's our intuition. That's our feeling. That's, relationships are about feeling, about, all the juiciness. That's what makes it so juicy. So you want, seriously, right? That's what it is. Because again, I deal with women. And so when I ask a woman, how do you want to feel with a man? I tell you what they always tell me, one of the first things, and we can't, I'm not doing the exercise with you, so I got to give you just the examples, because we can't take the whole time. But one of the things they always tell me is, I want to feel safe. I want to feel safe. I want to know that this guy is, you know what I mean? Like, he's a solid guy. Like, he's not, and I'm not just talking safe physically. They're talking safe with their heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they want to feel safe, and I'm going to tell you what, I have a program called Chosen, because I've asked this question to thousands of women. And let me tell you what I've heard. The women have always told me, they said, I want to feel chosen or claimed.
Oh.
I want to know that I am his one. I don't want a guy not wanting to get to know me.
Yeah.
So I'm giving you information on women. I want to be taken care of. And I'm not necessarily talking about material things. No. They want to have a man that can protect their heart, to take care of them, to look after them, to care about what they want, to care about how they feel. And when you were able to break that down and understand what that means and that safety, because it is completely different for women and men. There's a lot that goes on with us and a lot goes on with men. Us women, one of the things that we do have to worry about is our safety. I talk to men. Men are not worried about a man's going to take advantage, or men are usually not worried of their safety when they're going out on a date, with a woman. They're like, huh?
Well,
Safety?
it depends on the woman.
It depends on the woman.
I've been with some scary women and made me feel unsafe.
So when you are, going back and forth, you told me that's about a week. You're having interactions about a week.
Week or two, yeah.
Okay. Give me an example of the first meetup, because I have a process to this too about the meetup.
Well, my first meetup,
Well,
I wear a really gorgeous kind of sultry outfit because I like to put my best foot forward.
Where are we meeting?
We're meeting at restaurants typically. And for dinner, typically, because I
okay.
I don't do lunches.
No.
Wait, what's the ball about?
No dinner. She's saying no dinner.
No.
Oh.
Hell no. Oh, Lordy.
Why?
No.
Why?
I'll tell you what.
Interesting.
Oh, yes. See, women have this whole thing that they think that a man, they don't even know the guy. Ladies, listen up here. When you're on a dating app and you're getting to go on a date with the guy, and if you think that this guy that you don't even know yet, that is going, you're going to take you out and you're going to go on this 2-hour dinner date and all this, he has to go and bells and whistles, that's just a bunch of waste of time. Because why would we ever want to spend time with somebody else in such an intimate place, getting to know someone for 2 hours, and we don't even know if we like this person? Are you kidding me? So one of the things that I suggest, first of all, Jinah, when it comes to dating, I always recommend that women are dating, I call it in thirds. It's kind of like a funnel. Okay? Because dating to me, let me explain this to you. Dating to me is just getting to know different people. We're not talking, we're sleeping with people. We don't need to sleep with anybody. Well, why are we going to, and especially for women, we have so much more to worry about if we're sleeping with men.
Yeah.
Okay? Because we can get pregnant. We can get, there's a lot going on here. So I'm always like, let's get to know this guy and find out if he's even somebody that we want to even go there with. And so I always tell women, I say, listen, ladies, we got to learn how to date. And dating it's kind of like we don't put all our eggs in one basket, because how are you really going to know, what's out there and what you're really vibing with?
So what is it, coffee?
So coffee, 100%.
Coffee.
So that is my number one. I said, let's get, and there's statistics that have shown, let me tell you something too, because I base a lot of my work on science. There has shown that there is this vulnerability when you are drinking a warm drink. I kid you not. And even if you don't like coffee, it's almost like, well, I don't like coffee, I'm not going to go to a coffee shop. Get over yourself. You can have a smoothie. You can have another type of drink. We're not going there to have coffee necessarily, because when you position yourself in an environment that is a little, you're letting your guards down a little bit. And especially a man, he's not having to have that damn pressure of the dinner and the whole thing and all this and all these expectations and spending all this damn money. So we're gonna get to see if this is even someone that we want to spend more time with, Jinah. Seriously. And it's a funnel. It's really getting to understand that you gotta get out there. You got to get out there and get on dates.
So coffee.
Well,
yes.
And then dinner. Is
no,
the second one dinner?
I don't like the dinner. No, I'm still not into the dinner yet. No. Still too much time.
We'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsors. If you love Korean skincare but don't know what to buy or where to buy it from, then olali.com is your answer. Olali curates the best in Korean beauty products, from top shelf items to trending new arrivals to, my favorite, hard-to-find indie K-beauty brands. Founded by sisters Sue and Hera, Olali is like getting a recommendation from a good friend who's tried it all and tells you exactly what to buy. I especially love the Double Rose Luminizer Facial Oil, which feels so good on my dry, reactive skin. And Daniel loved the Neogen Airy sunscreen, which feels just like a light lotion on your face, but is packed with SPF 50. Get 10% off your first order with the code IHateDatingApps. Or use the link ololly.com/IHateDatingApps. Our sponsor, Take My Face Off, makes swiping off your makeup just as easy as swiping past a bad profile. Seriously, the MIDI from Take My Face Off is this adorable facial mitt that makes skin cleansing faster, easier, and more thorough than any other method I've tried. I seriously love this product. Next time you're tempted to grab a face wipe, use a MIDI instead. It's just as fast, but it's better for your skin and the planet. Get free shipping with the discount code DATING at takemyfaceoff.com.
Dinner is when we're really connecting with someone. Like we're like, oh, I'm really liking this person. So what I like to see is people just need to shorten this and keep it a little more simple. Okay? Seriously. Let's get to meet the person. Let's see if we have a connection here. This is if we're talking online dating. Let's meet someone in person at a coffee date. And they had this whole thing, you guys, about, and I want the guys' perspective on this too. I really want the guys' perspective on this because I have a really strong perspective on this when it comes to women. And I want to hear what guys have to say. When we get on the coffee dates, it's a quick little energy, like, oof. And I'm half of the time women are like, damn, thinking Jesus, I went on a coffee date because the guy was weird. Like I did not, like I would not imagine. I don't want to waste people's time. Like seriously, you guys, I would not know what to do with myself if we were out to dinner. And this is why people get ghosted.
Okay, Jesse and Brandon.
Yeah.
It's a lot to unpack there, guys.
I actually agree with a lot of what Charlene said in that. I'm big on the very minimal effort on the first date, like something super chill, whether it's coffee, ice cream, or maybe if you guys are into drinking, you can have a drink at a bar somewhere, but something super chill. She doesn't like the drinks. But something more than just dinner.
Yeah.
In my experience too, dinner, especially like you said, Jinah, you're like trying to like look good, like feel sexy or whatever. Dinner is just not that, I don't know. It doesn't do it for me. Like I'd rather have it do an activity, something a little bit more fun and low pressure. I think it's perfect for the first date.
There's cute activities that you guys can actually do during the day, seriously, and see if you have that extra chemistry. Now, if that goes really well, ooh, mama.
Jinah, so
That's when I pull
right,
out the dress
yeah,
and go to dinner.
yeah, exactly.
Mama,
So
this
actually,
is when we're like,
this
hey.
is kind of an interesting thing. So I mean, I've been sort of on the periphery watching your dating,
Life,
habits
yeah.
of the last few months. Do you like and you tell me about the dinners that you go to? Has it always when you after the initial interaction on the apps, is the first date usually a dinner?
It is, and I think it's, again, has to do with my schedule.
Yeah.
Because every other weekend I'm not available at all.
Right.
And Wednesdays and Thursdays are my only availability every other week. I typically try to make it a dinner because I have to work during the day.
Mm-hmm. No, it makes sense. But it's also, I think it's...
and most people don't drink coffee
Yeah,
at night.
well, it's also, I think,
But it's not
different
about
times. But it's,
I know.
it's different times. What Charlene's saying, and I've kind of... Because I got into dating apps before you did, but when Jenny and I met, and I met Jenny on Match.
Yeah.
And I remember like
Love Match.
well, one of the things that that people tell, and I forget, it was like it was sort of a known thing. It's like you don't go to dinner in the first date. You it's a meet. You go for coffee, something really casual, so that
Yes.
you can just kind of get a feel for the person. But in my case, actually, we went to coffee. We really hit it off. And then we went from there. The same day we went to dinner because we were hitting it off. And it's like, hey, there's some, food trucks. Why don't we go and have dinner? But we started with coffee, and then it sort of evolved to dinner because there was some chemistry.
See, I guess I understand what you're saying, Charlene, and I totally am cool with that. To me, I'm connecting with the person, whether I'm eating lasagna or sipping something. And I try not to put myself into so much boxes. I try to be a little bit more like, what's logistically going to work for me? I am probably going to be with this person for a couple hours. At 7 o'clock, is coffee the only thing I want in my stomach? for if I'm talking with the dude for 2 hours. So I think I'm cool with coffee. I'm cool with dinner. It's just logistically it
I don't
ends
want
up
you
being
talking.
dinner.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I don't want you talking to just a dude for 2 hours that you're not interested in talking to.
Yeah,
for
no,
2 hours.
I've done 30-minute
Your time
dates.
is very limited.
100%.
Your time is
But
very limited, and dating.
I'm sorry, Shirley. So
No.
I want to pick up on something that you said, because I think, and also we were talking. This is a very traditional heterosexual sort of old school,
Yes.
stuff that our generation grew up on. And what Charlene's saying is like women like to be pursued. It's true. And
Yes.
as somebody who's a dear friend of Jinah's, I've known Jinah for many, many years. She is a take charge kind of person, and you might not notice this, but you do to men. You do have that vibes like I'm in charge.
Oh yeah. No, I know.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, to her point, I do think even if he picked a dinner, even if he made the schedule, because you are very it's like, no, I can't do that. Like, because I got this stuff going on. It's like, because you're thinking logistics, you're thinking practicality,
Yeah.
which then doesn't come across, like Charlene said, doesn't come across like, you're not giving me a chance to pursue you because you are making the logistics.
Right.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to hide behind what I'm not.
Right.
I'm a very
depends-
strong
yeah.
person.
It depends on what you're looking for, because we have all different type of energies here, right?
Yeah.
Seriously. So I'm telling you right now. So the majority of the women that I work with, let me tell you what they want. They are in their masculine. They shift into their feminine because they actually want to be pursued. They actually want to.
I want to be pursued. Yeah.
Okay. They want to be in that.
But I
role.
think, Charlene, I think everyone wants to be pursued, right? So we want to like kind of break down the semantics there. I think even men want to be pursued. So bottom line is
agree.
I
though,
don't think I don't. Well, I disagree. I mean, I'm not a man, and again, I don't think necessarily men want to. And depend if a man wants to be pursued, then we're talk. What type of man are we talking about? Because what I know about men is
I think
like
that's
men.
changing is what I'm
well,
saying.
No,
I think
I
men-
think like as a man, you're both saying the truth. And Brandon agreed with this as well. No, men like to be pursued, but I think it's different. Men like to be pursued. Like, look, what guy would not like to have the Swedish bikini
Exactly.
team?
Yeah.
No, but it's different though. She's talking about different kind of pursuit.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I want numbers. I want all the hot chicks in the world to come
Or even
after
not
me.
such hot chicks, right?
No,
Like you
no,
get
no,
totally
sorry.
flattered.
Only the hot chicks.
Only the hot chicks.
Yeah.
All right.
Only the hot chick.
I
yeah,
only want no seriously, because
Of course
I'm
you wanna be pursued by the hot
this
chick.
this is
Yeah.
completely from a superficiality standpoint. Yes, what person doesn't like to be pursued?
Right.
But what I think Charlene's talking about, and I noticed this in my relationship, women want, traditional women especially, that protection that we're talking about. The traditional role is a man wants to feel like a man.
Yes.
I want to feel like a man in the relationship.
I want my
and
man
if,
to feel
if,
like a
if
man.
my woman doesn't make me feel like a man in the relationship, I feel emasculated, and that turns a lot of men off. And so when she's talking about those traditional, and I'm not, whatever rocks your boat.
Everyone can do whatever they want.
Yeah,
Exactly.
whatever rocks your boat. But I think from that dynamic, I think what she's saying is, let the man be the man.
Yep.
Don't make him feel like he's not the man in this relationship.
By what? By suggesting dates?
No, by
No.
by having him pursue you.
Oh,
Have him
okay,
feel like,
let him pursue me. Yeah.
exactly.
Lean back, Gina.
Everybody
Lean
likes to
back.
be. Everybody likes to be
Relax.
Drop
pursued.
the ball. Yeah.
Drop
No,
the ball.
I am
Yeah.
really good at dropping balls. Trust me. I do not do a man's work. Okay. Yeah. He if he's gonna be with someone like me, he really has to be like Superman. And I do want to hear what Jesse and Brandon have to say.
I know. Yes. Yeah, I
So
know.
if you don't mind letting them have the floor a little bit, and then Charlene, I know you
It's-
have a lot more to say.
No, we love listening to it. I think it's a completely new perspective.
100%. Oh yeah.
Isn't
No,
it?
I
It's a
love
super
what
interesting
Charlene's saying
perspective.
too.
I'm taking notes, but just taking it like back, rewinding back a bit. One of the very first things we teach your guys is how to lead. Very important. It's still to this day, a lot of guys don't know how to do that. So when you
I
take
love
that
that.
away from them,
Yes.
you're already naturally attracting guys that you don't want, because you're putting yourself in a position where it's just not going to match. Right? It's really congruent. You're like, oh, I can't find the right guy, because you're not allowing them to be the right guy in the first place. So that's the very first thing we teach is, okay, you got to learn how to lead, man.
Yep.
And then from there, the girls start, it just becomes better. And the girl starts finding more attractive, like, oh, wow, he led me here. And he feels more confident, and the dynamic just kicks off. So that's the first thing. And I think we can all agree on that point. But I think what really caught my attention is like when you said, that's just not who I am. I want to be who I
Right.
really am. And it's you are who you choose to be at the end of the day. And it's okay to have a change and a deep introspection within yourself and make that change. It doesn't make you any less, doesn't make you any different. You just change it. You just, you change it for the better. So you are who you choose to be. And I would frame it that way instead of saying like I had to change for, XYZ guy or whatever you want to frame it. But those are the two things that really caught my attention here. And I think, I think Charlene's on a good path here. And I do agree with a lot of what she said. The only thing I disagree with is I personally do like doing, or I used to like doing dinner dates, right? Because if I'm going out and I'm doing that, I'm going to go get dinner anyways. You want to join me, you can join me.
Yeah.
But that's me. And I feel like I can make that connection. I could establish a second date, so on and so forth. Because that's just how I live my life. And I'm giving him an insight of to how I live my life. I'm going to go eat here. If you want to come, that's great. If not, we could do something else.
Also,
later on.
food evokes a lot of emotion in us, right? Food is something that we have a lot of connection with. I don't have that crazy of a connection to coffee. So now if somebody's like, oh my God, for a first date, I want to take you to some place that totally rocks my boat. You are going to love their curry. I already kind of know something about this person. And I already know that their food is probably going to jive with my food and that their love for food is very similar to my love for food. And so there's, to me, a bond. There's a reason why social interactions and the biggest holidays are barbecues on 4th of July or dinners for Thanksgiving or, Christmas. There's a reason why food is associated with so many of our bonding events is because food does bond. So I guess that would be my thing to where I agree with Jesse a little more than I agree with Charlene. I don't feel any bond to coffee. I love coffee. I drink it every morning. But to me, I don't remember a date as much as if somebody took me to their favorite Moroccan restaurant and I was just like, oh,
that's the thing,
that
though.
Craig. Oh my
But
God.
we're
that's the
talking
thing, it's
about
not-
food now.
yeah,
We're not
yeah.
talking about like this is okay.
Getting to know someone.
But it
Yeah,
adds
we're
to
getting-
all of that, right?
Let me
It's a
say
factor.
something. I don't give a crap what amazing meal you have with the guy. I'm actually serious. And if there is not that connection, then it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Okay? I'm saying it right now. You can go,
Totally.
the guy can literally say, hey, I love sushi.
They always love sushi.
And
So-
by the way,
Every guy loves sushi,
people
by
who
the
love
way.
sushi always say that way.
They
I
love
love
sushi.
sushi.
Love sushi.
I love sushi.
Really quick,
I love sushi.
I
And
think
then
that's
you're
a
like,
very, sorry to interrupt that. It's a very important point that you brought up there because you said someone that you don't connect with. And in my experience, I've always had that, like I've always made that connection happen. Just, I don't know if it's because of my background, whatever it is, but I can always make that connection happen. So it's a little more of a bias for me when I say that I'm down to have those type of,
Right.
outings and dinner or whatever, because I always make it happen. I always make sure she has a good time. But not every guy has that ability to do that. So
Right,
I could
right.
see where Charlie's coming from at the same point where it's like,
Right.
wait, the guy is not self-aware that he's weird or whatever. You're going to have a bad time for 2 hours.
Right.
So I understand that aspect. I'm just giving my biased opinion. It's like, well, I'll make it happen. I'll make sure she has a good time regardless.
I go
I
with
think
that.
it's
we don't want to just
different
make
approach.
someone have a good time to have a good time.
Exactly,
We want
exactly.
to really
Right.
have, you guys, we're talking about the matters of the heart. We're not talking about just meeting people and just being platonic. I mean, are we looking for a romance? Are we looking for a friend? If you're looking for a friend,
I think
definitely-
I think we're all talking about romantic love. But
Yeah,
I think what Gina and Jesse are saying is, and it's valid. Both points are valid. This is how I look at it. By the way, my preference also would be a dinner because I agree with everything that you said because I think food is bonding and I can learn more about the person. But if you want to and I see Charlene's point too, it's like if you want to get to know that person and also from her sort of methodology to this to have the guy pursue you, a dinner is like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 steps to ahead, right? So,
I'm very impressed by a dinner though. So
Yeah,
if
no,
a
no, it's
guy's
true.
like asking
Yeah.
me for coffee, I'm like, he wants to get the heck out of there and he wants to pay
necessarily.
$5.
No. Well, that's it. But you see, that's why
But a
people
dinner
approach
tells
it.
me
People come
he
from a
sees
very
something
different way.
in me. He's committed,
But how
and
are
he
they,
wants
how
to
is he
spend
gonna
2
right,
hours with
based,
me.
based
how
on
do you
interaction
feel
on the
about
app,
him?
though?
By the time I'm going out to dinner with somebody, I know enough about them to want to see them physically. So to me, it's an investment in
That
my
interaction
time.
happened on the app, though?
Yeah, the interaction happened on the app. I'm responding to them. We've already texted. Maybe we've had a couple of phone calls. I've for sure had a video chat. And then I'm like, okay, now I want to go out with you. And in that physical connection, because it might be the only time I see them, there might not be a date number 2. And most of the time, Charlene, there isn't. Most of my dates are only one date, right? Because after the date, I'm like, I didn't feel the lightning.
He didn't love the sushi.
Yeah, I did love the sushi enough.
The sushi wasn't good.
Yeah,
And that's
maybe.
why-
Yes.
Gina,
That
that's
is a
why I'm doing
possibility
what-
too.
Yeah, that's what I do because I help women not waste time. I help women not just put all their eggs in one basket. I actually help women finally get off of the dating apps and really be in the relationship that they're looking for. So the work that I'm doing is very specific because it actually works. And there's a whole reason why it works and how helpful it is. So it comes down to, if you haven't found the person that you're looking for, you haven't had the luck that you wanted, then maybe, being open.
I understand, Charlene, what the spirit of what you're saying is.
Yes,
If
yes.
dinner dates haven't led you to
Yeah.
anything, maybe stop wasting your time and
Yes.
try coffee. Having said that, I don't think I'm the kind of person that's going to be like, wait, this is not a coffee date? Not going out with you, bro, because Charlene said not to. So I'm not going to be so black and white about it. I think
Right.
I'll always see shades of gray, and I'll do whatever makes sense for the time that we're going out and the vibe that I'm already feeling with the person and the level of commitment that I'm willing to make as a first time date investment. But I totally hear what you're saying.
Yeah, I want you to have a good time, Mom. I want you to be able to hang out with the person that it's really vibing with, regardless of what the food is.
Yeah.
That's just you know what I mean? Regardless.
Trust me, she hates dating apps, but she's having a great time.
I kind of am. Yeah. Yeah.
Seen every restaurant in LA.
Yeah, what's not to like about eating yummy food twice a week? Yeah.
I don't know if we came to any conclusions on this, but I think there was a lot of great conversation, great tips. How do you feel about it, Jinah? Do you feel like you're better
I mean,
equipped?
I feel like we just scratched the surface. I basically
Yeah.
know I'm supposed to try coffee, but I would love to dive in more. But yeah, it just goes to show you how layered, like Charlene said, this is.
Yeah, it's layers.
This is
and
like
and
multiple relationship
layers.
coaching appointments.
And also, I think Charlene said this, Jesse said this as well, all the coaches said, it also depends, ultimately the core question is, what are you looking for? Right?
Well, I did
Yeah.
have some very specific questions for the guys that I
Yeah.
really wanted to ask. Okay, so
All right, put them on the spot.
I am a very direct person, and I like things and I don't like things. I'm not known for being very wishy-washy. And so sometimes I'll go out with a guy and he is checking off all of my boxes and we're having massive chemistry. And then I'll realize, oh my God, he's leaning in for the kiss and he hasn't flossed in probably a decade, And I'll be like, I cannot kiss this mouth. What do I say if that is my stumbling block and there is really no solution other than they need to go see a gingivitis specialist?
Run.
You tell them right there and then. You'd be like, hey,
Right then and there?
Right there and then. You'd be doing him a disfavor if you did it to him right there and then.
So how do I
it's better
say
solved.
that? Before I
Then let's-
lean back and make them feel dejected.
Be like, hey, I would have totally been down, but your breath stinks a little bit. Just like that. Nothing crazy. And every guy's going to appreciate it. He's going to feel bad, but that's on him. He should have done better. That's so simple. You should have learned that at age 5.
He's gonna feel bad anyway because you're not gonna.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So might as well fix the problem right there and then.
Agree.
Yeah, I think. But if that's the only problem you're having, then
No, that's not.
You're doing good.
You're doing good.
Yeah.
Well, also don't tell them you need to go see a gingivitis specialist. Just say
Well, I mean,
Unless they really do. Unless they really do.
that is
Yeah,
the only way they're going to solve that problem. No amount of mouthwash, because then a lot
but
of
you
guys
but,
will.
but you just need to get him on that path and say he needs to realize, oh, she didn't kiss me not because she didn't like me, not because you your breath kind of, and then he's gonna let him go investigate whether he needs a gingivitis specialist. But to Jess's point, it's you just have to give him the information so that he can do something about it. but you also don't have to just make him feel like a
Like be
total-
like, ew, yuck. Yeah, no,
There's
I
a
would
difference
never,
between
do that.
I don't want to kiss you
Yeah.
versus ew, I don't want to kiss
What
you.
is that? What just died in your mouth? Yeah, I
Right,
would never
what just
say
died
that.
in your mouth? Yeah,
And,
exactly.
a lot of the times we've
Wrong
had
with
clients.
you?
Yeah, it depends on their diet. There's so many factors that could go into it. It's not necessarily that they
That's
don't
true. Yeah.
hygienic in their mouth, but it could be diet, it could be a lot of things. So I would address whatever superficial issue it is right there and then, and see what they say. And then if everything else is going good, I mean, hopefully it doesn't translate to bad hygiene in other areas. But
Oh, I know, right? Like if you're not
Yeah.
smelling that
Yeah.
on yourself, what are you also not
Well,
smelling?
you can't smell on your own
Exactly.
breath though. That's just that's
Well,
biology.
sometimes
Yeah.
I can smell my own breath, but women are a little different. The other thing that I get tripped up on is I'm totally open to all men with all features, but I get really hit on quite a lot from men with like beards and like men with full on facial hair. Like what Brandon's got, like goatee-ish type stuff, no problem whatsoever. My strong preference though is for clean shaven. And then it's like ZZ Top people will be hitting on me, yo. And they're like, oh, I'm feeling them, they're feeling me. And then like, I don't know how to say, but bro, I can't do the beard. Like, and then have them feel like, oh, now you want me to be a different person,
You can't be changing men, Jinah. If he has a beard, he has a beard. You're either gonna take him with
But that's something where like they could shave it, right?
I know, but
So don't even go there.
Listen to what Charlene's saying.
Okay, so don't even swipe on the guys with ZZ Top. Period.
No,
Okay.
no,
Yeah.
no, that's too controlling. If the guy has a beard, he has a beard. That's where I remember I said you meet the guy where he's at. Because this is the deal. Too many of us women, and me too, but I'm not like this anymore because I learned, I had to do some work myself. We all gotta do some work. But too many of us women were like thinking that we're gonna like change the guy.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? He's good now, but I'm gonna shave him. We're gonna put him in good clothes. If you have a guy who's literally a cowboy, he's a cowboy, mama. And if you have a guy, suit guy, he's a suit guy. You don't put a suit guy into the cowboy into the suit.
Oh, there's no queer eye.
You got it like
No,
literally. The guy.
You want a man, not a
need to be who
project.
they are.
Yeah.
A man, not a
Yeah, men
project.
need
want
to
a
be
man and
whoever
not a
they are.
project, yeah.
We're not going to change their clothes or anything like that. Like, you know what I mean? You got to respect them for who they are and how they show up. And if it's something that you're not interested in, mama, then you just don't go ahead and go down that route.
And don't even tell them, right? If they're like,
No,
they're
no, it's not. No, why would we tell a guy that we just met? Oh, I'm not into beard. Well, girl, I have a beard.
yeah.
You don't want a guy to be a people pleaser. You don't need a guy unless he's your husband. He's like, baby, can you shave for one day? That's a whole different story. But if you're dating a guy and he has a beard, he has a beard. That's it.
Yeah. But this has been super
Yes.
awesome. Any final thoughts before we go? And gentlemen, feel free to give it to me.
yeah, I think there's definitely some incongruence between what you want and what you're doing. And I think what Charlene's trying to get at is trying to match and align those things, which is great because, I mean, we've never worked, with women before, and I wouldn't have the slightest clue on how I would align those things.
Amen,
being
brother.
honest.
Amen.
Thanks for being
I've known
honest.
this woman for decades, and amen, brother.
Without sounding rude or whatever, but that would be my only thing is really go to the drawing board and see, okay, where could I tailor things so things align? And yeah, that would be just be open and keep working on it.
There was one thing I wanted to add. When you were saying you were going on dates and you got ghosted a few times, it's really important, especially for me when I learned this, was I leave my ego at the door, especially on the first few dates. If you bring it in there, you're like, I really like this guy, and then he just disappears in the bathroom, like you said, you're in for a rude awakening because, especially for women, you have a lot of choice. Okay?
Yeah.
So you could probably go on 20 dates a month if you really wanted to.
Right.
There's a reason
really?
what's that? There's a statistic out there that like 90% of women are swiping right at the same top 10% of guys. Like, so those guys you're talking to, not only they have a lot of choice. So you got to figure, dude, it's not even necessarily you. It could be a million different things.
Right.
But like, especially on the first few dates, just don't expect too much. Like, I like this guy. Let's just see where it goes. Once you're like, what the hell happened? What's up with this dude? Like, I thought we had a good connection. It's just setting yourself up for failure, in my opinion.
So you got to find a way to just simplify this a little more and really put yourself, seriously in a position that you have to look at it just like exactly what he said, no expectations. Because when someone ghosts somebody, it's 99% has nothing to do with you.
Yeah,
it just does. It really
it's
honestly
all on
does.
them.
Like, people,
Totally.
People have to get over it. Like, honestly, like, and there's no such thing as closure. There's no such thing as that. There's no like, we're going to find out what happened. They already gave you the closure.
Why'd you ghost me? Yeah.
They already gave it to you. That's it.
I could go on
Words
and
of
on.
wisdom.
This is so
Yes, we could go on. Yeah.
I love
We haven't even
this.
scratched the surface. We didn't even get into polarity. We didn't even get into all the stuff. But yes, there's more here. But
I think there are more episodes.
I love it.
There are more episodes.
I love it. Can all future episodes be coaching? Jinah?
Yes. There we go.
Thank
Love
you
it.
guys so much.
Yes,
This
thank
is
you.
so awesome.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
This was great.
Yeah. Well, and then, maybe I'll meet the man of my dreams after this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're fabulous, Mama, and I'm telling you, you're fabulous, and I love that you're having a good time with it and stuff. But I know, don't worry, like things will shift. I'm telling you, I promise you, things will shift. We just gotta do a little shifting. That's it, just a little
Aw.
shift.
Shifty.
I love that positivity.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Charlene.
thank you guys. It's been a lot of
No,
fun.
thank you.
Wish
Yeah.
us
Thank you.
luck.
Well, I think that wraps it up for today. I hate dating apps. You can love with them.
And you can't love without them.
All right. Till next time.
Thank you. Bye.
I hate dating apps.
Hey, app daters and haters, tell us your dating app experience, and we just might bring you on as a guest for future episodes. Head to IHateDatingApps.com and click on the big yellow Tell Us Your Story button. You can't miss it. We've got a lot of fun content on our social channels, so please follow us at I Hate Dating Apps on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. And on Instagram, we're at I Hate Dating Apps Pod. And don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you're listening to this podcast.